Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha Shri Krishnaya Vayam Numaha Om Yontah Pravishya Mama Vacha Mimam Prasuptam Sanjivayatya Kila Shakti Dharaswadhamnam अन्यांश्च हस्तचरण श्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. We are in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 12, Chapter 12, verse number 46, and we are looking at it. Well, we have to start from 48, but we'll start from 46 again. How does it matter? Patitas khalitas chartaha kshutva va vivasho bruvan haraye nama ityuchaihi muchyate sarvapatakat. Uttering at the top of his voice the formula Haraye Namaha or Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama or Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Even involuntarily, without any conscious effort on his part, when fallen in a well, etc., stumbled, while ascending a staircase, afflicted, or after sneezing, a man is absolved from all sins. In other words, don't blame the staircase, don't blame the well, why it was in my way that I fell into the well, why was the step there. That हम बोलते हैं ना, that तेरी की फिर से चोट लग गई, ऐसे क्यों बोलना, हरिओम. So every point is every event of our life, and when is event taking place? Every moment. Every moment our attention, consciously, unconsciously, with efforts, without efforts, it goes to the Lord. That is the whole idea, and that will keep us, keep the pain, keep the miseries, keep the eventual problems that you are inviting. If you react in a particular way, next time again you will react. But instead, if you say Hari Om, your attention is on Hari Om or the Lord's name. Chinmayananji used to say Hari Om, Akhandananji used to say Narayan, 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 Narayan. Our Swamiji says Krishna, 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 Krishna. Our Anandmayma used to say Krishna, 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 Krishna. Our Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he used to scream out loudly the name of Kali. Hey Ma Kali, Kali Ma, where are you? Why you are not giving me darshan right now? He used to call out. What are we mad for? We are mad for the world. We are mad for the changing things. We are mad for money. We are mad for investment. We are mad for relationships which are not lasting. By doing this slowly, slowly, without your knowledge, we will fall in love. Instead of the samsara, we will fall in love with the Lord or Lord Himself. This return migration must happen of our mind. The problem is not in the world. The problem is not in the Lord. Lord clearly knows that the whole world is He alone. Meaning, where did the world come from? You saw all those Gyan chapters. The world came from the Shakti, from the Prakriti. And the Lord knows Prakriti is an part and parcel of His. Do you know that? That this whole world that you have created, that you see, hear, touch, feel, taste, think, imagine, possess, have relationship with, fear, all this, it's only a expression of your Shakti, the mind. Do you know that? And not knowing this creates all the problems in life. This is the difference between a realized master, God realized master, and an individual, Buddhu. The master has realized what the Lord has realized, that the Shakti is part and parcel of mind. Indivisible from the Lord. And therefore, Mahatma moves around in this world, unaffected by the world, ever intoxicated in the divine that the self is. Who is intoxicated? Self is not intoxicated. The mind is intoxicated. And this is so abundantly shown in our scriptures. In Shiv Parvati Leela, Lakshmi and Narayana, Radha Krishna. Every time Radha or Lakshmi or Parvati has a tiff, has a misunderstanding with their Lord, or she looks away, doesn't listen, doesn't follow, at that very moment, the problem begins. For whom? For the Shakti. She comes into trouble. Parvati, Sati, she did not listen to the Lord. She went and burnt herself in the Yajnashala. Then she had to take birth again. See? And there are many, many more stories like that. See? And same thing our mind is also doing. Our mind, our Shakti, it is going to the world because it is not in love with the self, the Atman, the Lord in our heart. It is in love with the world. And that is why births keep taking place. When you involve in the world, Karturtva Abhiman is there, the doership is there. If doership is there, then likes and dislikes are there. If likes and dislikes are there, then the vasanas will be created. If vasanas are created, then rebirth will be there. And you remain in the continuous cycle of birth, rebirth, birth, rebirth, birth, rebirth. We have to get out of it. For that, you cannot do anything to the Atman. Atma is already as it is. You cannot do anything to the world also because it is always changing. How will you catch it? How will you catch a river? By the time you put your hand, the water is already gone. Then the only place which needs to be transformed is the mind. In our case, is the mind. It needs to be properly oriented. And this is all the Leelas of the Lords, where if you see Radha Krishna Leela, or you see Shiv Parvati Leela, how the Parvati or the Sati or the Radha, how they are, because they got separated for whatever reason. And then their growth, their evolution, mental evolution towards the truth, towards their beloved. That's their journey. See? Patitas-khalitas-chartaha kshutva va vivasho bruvan haraye nama ityuchaihi muchyate sarvapatakat. Last week, I think, I don't know what I told last week, but we had to chant loudly the name of the Lord, not softly. Vaikhari is this cross speech. I'm speaking in Vaikhari right now. I'm not speaking like that. You are able to hear me. I'm not speaking in my mind. I'm not speaking in silence. I'm speaking loudly. I'm speaking loudly. And so that you can hear. So what is Vaikhari? Are we doing the chanting to make other people hear? No. We are chanting loudly so we can hear. Our ears are exposed to the name of the Lord continuously, incessantly. Never chant any mantra in your mind. Never. It will lead to imaginations. It will lead to cessation of chanting of mantra, or it will lead to sleep. Then, but we see people, Mahatmas chant. Yes, they chant because they have purified the Vaikhari. Then they have gone into the Madhyama or Pashyanti. हमारी क्या औकात है? What have we done? 1 or 2 days we chant and we think we have qualified for mental chanting? No. Not even 1 or 2 years. Our attention must be that whenever we chant in our own private time, nobody is around, still we must chant loudly and allow the purification of the Vaikhari. When that will happen, automatically the sound will go back towards its source. What is its source? Vaikhari source is Madhyama, Madhyama source is Pashyanti, Pashyanti source is Para. Para source is the infinite. Para is infinite, but when we take it as Turiya Tattva, then you can take it as infinite, or you can take it as Para is the Samadhi, conscious silence is Samadhi. See? So we must chant loudly. Continuing in the 47th verse, Sankirtya mano Bhagavan anantaha Shrutanubhavo vyasanam hi pumsam Pravishya chittam vidhunotya shesham Yathata murko brahmivati vataha. I think we did this verse also, but okay. Entering the mind of men even while his name or praise is being loudly chanted, or when his glory is heard of them by them, the infinite Lord, the wise declare, puts an end to all their misfortune in the same way as the sun dispels the darkness and a tempestuous gale disperses the clouds. This can only, the moment you wake up from a frightening dream, that very moment the dream loses its impact on your mind. That terrible dream loses its impact on your mind because you have woken up and you have realized that it was a dream. it loses its catch on you. Its shackle on the mind, that is lost. Same way, right now, what is shackling our mind? The world. What is shackling our mind? Our expectations of what we want in the future. What is shackling our mind? Our past deeds, our regrets. Should have done that, should have not done that. That is all there is. All this is neutralized, meaning it will still be there in your mind. Don't worry about it. I can assure you, till the last breath, all the wrongs and rights and whatever anxieties you have, they will be in your mind. But they are not able to shackle you. They are not able to clutch you. They are not able to hold on to you. Why? You are holding on to the Lord. Does it mean the sun has come here, there is no darkness? There is darkness. Where? Wherever the sun is not. Some planet the darkness will be there, no? So when our mind, but our mind is not round like the globe. Our mind is infinite. And when in it we light the lamp of the Lord's name, slowly, 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 as it gathers strength, you watch, anything that you keep repeating in your mind, you become attached to, you become obsessed with. This is what is unhealthy situation is: thought fixations. Unhealthy situation is obsessions, phobias. It is all because you have thought about it again and again and again and again. Or phobia is one event has happened and it was so powerful and you interacted with that event so intensely that with fear that it has become the fear has set into your heart with regards to that cockroach or that lizard or that snake or that particular type, whatever event experience. That is phobia. So either you have phobia of the Lord's name, not in the negative sense. You interact with the Lord's name so deeply with love instead of fear that He is there with you once and for all. And this happens to many people. When life throws some untoward events in their life turns and they become God oriented. You read the book Power of Now, that fellow. See? You take Tulsi Das ji, one event, his wife told, if you had shown this, इतनी लगन तुमने भगवान राम के प्रति दिखाई होती थी, अभी तक तुम भगवान से एक हो गए होते. See? One event. So all from childhood he was studying the scriptures, the Vedas, the Upanishads. He was a teacher. But it didn't make a difference. Yes, it must have added on. But one word from his wife, because of his lust for his wife to be in her arms, and she got so disgusted with it that one event made the Tulsi into Tulsi Das. Sant Tulsi Das. See, that Power of Now, if you read that fellow's biography, I can't remember his name. He was sitting on the road. He used to live in a tent, a plastic tent. He used to stand in queues for भिखारियों की तरह खाने के लिए. And one day he thought, is this what life is about? And suddenly it dawned. because that event, his mental orientation, he was seeking some solution, or he was totally depressed because of the condition that he was in. That is grace, sheer grace. And grace is flowing in our life also. What have you done? If you think I am speaking for last 14 years, or if you are thinking you are listening for last 14 years, no. It is by His grace that this satsang is going on. That should be our attitude. Again and again, every week He is coming and reminding us by coming into our life. He is giving us the intelligence, He is giving us the disposition that we must drop everything else in our life and be here at what? 6:12. Not 6:10. 6:12 we start. Huh? See? But we come like clockwork, we come here. Why? It has become a habit. It feels our week is not complete without this satsang. But what about rest of the week? You might be lighting lamp in the morning or evening. What about the rest of the 20 hours to 22 hours? Every day. You are listening satsang only 1 or 2 hours every day. Say if you listen 2 times also, say 3 hours. What about the rest of the day? We have to remain in satsang. How do we do that? Just like you are enjoying listening to satsang, you have to enjoy listening to the name of the Lord. For that you need Vaikhari. Vaikhari, loud. And here he says, Sankirtyamano Bhagavan Anantaha Shrutanubhavo Vyasanam hi pumsam. He says, when we do this chanting, take the name of the Lord continuously, he entering the mind of men while his name or praise is being loudly chanted, and when his glory is heard by them, the infinite Lord, the wise declare, the wise men, they declare this. Lord doesn't say that. He also says in Bhagavad-Gita, he says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam hamyaham. He says that think of me exclusively, I'll take care. But we don't trust because we have never met him, or we have doubt, or we have doubt regards his existence, or we have arrogance that what can he do for me when everything in my life I have only done and come to be where I am today. No, don't go in that direction of thinking. It's unhealthy. So here he is saying, and this will recognize only of those who are chanting the name of the Lord, they will recognize this. Within few months it comes. He comes and sits in our heart. And when he comes and sits in our heart, he is of the nature of light. So there will be no darkness there. He diffuses all negativity. And what is negativity? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsar, comparison, competition, fear, likes, dislikes, assessment, judgment, biasness, taking the world to be real, thinking the world was there before I came and will continue after I go. This feeling, all this is wrong conclusions in life. All these will, and we don't have to work it out. Here we are not talking about Gyan will come. Don't worry. It has come from first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam till now. So many times the knowledge has been repeated by the Lord through various stories of the devotees, then why is it not sticking to us? Why do we keep forgetting it? Why do we keep forgetting it? Because rest of the day we are not listening to satsang. Purify, purify, purify by chanting the name of the Lord. As we purify, to that extent, our mind becomes focused, our mind becomes single pointed, our mind becomes expanded. And in such a mind, whatever is heard with faith, it sticks. Because that mind which is purified, why is he purified for? Is he purified to again indulge in the world? No, he is purifying the mind. He is taking the name of the Lord because he is in love with the Lord. Because he wants to become one, be one with the Lord or with the Atma, whatever. So the wise say that the Lord comes and sits in the heart of all these of those people who take his name incessantly and puts an end to all the misfortune, just as the sun dispels the darkness and or the wind blows away the clouds. See, 48th verse. Mrusha girastaya satira satkatha na katyate yad bhagavan adhokshajaha tadeva satyam taduhaiva mangalam tadeva punyam bhagavad gunodayam. In the 48th verse he says, he's already, we have all, okay. The utterance alone, on the other hand, is true, that alone. Now he is talking about the greatness of the utterance of the Lord's name. He says, especially in these times, replace everything. Swamiji also keeps saying, stop watching TV, stop watching news, stop watching COVID updates. Then what do? You hold on to the Lord. This world has always been like this. The nature of the world is changed. There is something sometimes good, there is something bad, sometimes it is challenging, sometimes there are obstacles, sometimes there are mishaps. You cannot change it. You cannot bring it to order. It has always been like that. Sometime you will see everything is going hunky-dory. The very next day, everything is going total chaos. Some days your mind is absolutely perfect, in a good disposition. Other days, out of sync. Why? Only that mind which is continuously thinking of the world. So we want to come to a disposition of equanimity. We want to rise above the individuality. We want to rise above the individuality. But to rise above individuality, what is the basic requirement? You have to give up body identification. What do you mean by giving up body identification? You have to give up have dispassion towards relations and possessions. No, but that doesn't go, don't drop it. We are not asking anyone to drop it. But fall in love with the Lord. And you have the data, you have the experience also. That whenever you are focused on something, you are unaware of the needs of the body. You are unaware of the wrong position that you are sitting for so long. You are unaware of the hunger. I have people here, they are working, now working from home. They don't even get time to eat lunch. And suddenly at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, they, oh my God, I did not have lunch. And they are rushing out and eating. Because they are so lost in that work. If you want to be lost in the name of the Lord. Because that is what is going to bring you salvation. That is what is going to bring you to be one with the divine. So here he says that the utterance alone, on the other hand, where are we? They are indeed false and ignoble utterances, and contain stories of the unrighteous, of which Lord Vishnu, who is above sense perception, does not form a theme. The utterance alone. See, so when you this you will have to discover it yourself if you have not discovered it already. What is that? First, we were totally involved in the world. Somehow satsang came into our life, and all of you have come by referrals. Nobody, I have never gone and asked, or the Srimad Bhagavatam hasn't come to you and said, no, come and listen to me. By Lord's grace, someone has come into your life, or you have been seeking, and you sometimes concerted effort, sometimes by someone telling you, sometimes because you are seeking, so you come to know from somewhere or the other, and you come to the satsang, and slowly you start developing the taste for the satsang, start enjoying the leelas of the Lord, the stories. But the stories are about people, stories are about Rakshasas, stories about Asura, Devas and Asuras. All this is fantastic. But that is, and if read by yourself, you would not have understood the significance of the stories. So in the satsang, the teacher explains to you how to make it subjective. And as you start listening, yeah, that makes sense. And if you notice in your life, when you began, sometimes you will come, sometimes you will not come. But over the last few years, you have been very regular. What's the next stage? Are we going to continue to depend on someone to listen to satsang? Are we not self-sufficient? So the next stage of evolution here, right now you are the listener, I am the speaker. And it is good, it must continue. It is required to keep reminding us so that we recognize where we are going wrong. But what about the rest of the time? Rest of the time you be in satsang with yourself. And here he says that and yes, initially, when we were kids, before I go ahead, when we were kids, we used to read the Chanda Mama, we used to read the Amar Chitra Katha. And when I heard first time the satsang on Ramayana, Aranyakand, I heard the meaning of the chaupais of Hanuman Chalisa. Suddenly a new world opened up for me. Now that chanting was still going on. I know the stories of the Ramayana, I know the stories of the Bhagavad, but now a deeper appreciation for those leelas gets inculcated in my heart. That's the next stage. First there was interest in the stories, grandparents tell the stories so that children go to sleep. And we are reading the stories to wake up, not to go to sleep. I don't know. I'm wishful thinking from my part. Huh? We listen to stories to wake up. See? And that is what led, in my case, that deep, and it was like a spark. I was already on that journey, but things happened so quickly. I was in the ashram, studying in depth the Ramayana, the Bhagavatam, the Yoga Sutras, the Upanishads. And I never felt even for once that I am out of place. Till today I have not felt it. It was like fish to water. Is it because of my efforts? No. It was my interaction with the Amar Chitra Katha, my interaction with the Leelas of the Lord, reading that, I had come to this conclusion: the purpose of life at a young age is moksha. And I missed the point for many years in between. But the sadhana was going on deep inside, because it was a deep conviction. Just like phobia never leaves you, it always is inside. The love for the Lord was always inside. The yoga practice was going on, the various sadhanas were going on, then japa sadhana was going on. And all that fructified into the next stage of evolution what was that? Study of the scriptures. Because of study of scriptures, did the chanting of the name of the Lord drop? No, it did not drop, because that chanting of the name brought me to that point, to appreciate the scriptures. In some Mahatmas, it comes from within. हम थोड़े बुद्धू थे तो आश्रम जाना पड़ा. We had to learn from someone else. Mahavatar Baba, Neem Karoli Baba, Heda Khan Baba, Anandmayi Ma, Paramakrishna Paramhans, Ramana Maharishi, all the knowledge came from within. They didn't have to go anywhere. They didn't have to go anywhere. हम बुद्धू हैं. We are not trusting the process. We were not focused enough to go deeper. Yes, it was still, I should not say it was better than, I can say it was better than nothing. Yes. But what I want you to bring your attention is to the evolutionary process. How we are growing. You are not a child anymore. Life has brought you to be an adult human being now. But as your body has grown, as your ego has grown, as your experiences have grown, as your memory has grown, as your knowledge of the world has grown, has your devotion to the Lord also grown? Everything else is okay. But is our submission to the Lord, love for the Lord, surrender to the Lord, at one ment with the Lord, the chanting of the Lord, has that grown as we are growing, and at all other levels? See? So a time comes that stories is okay. Just like Satya Sai Baba used to say that Vibhuti and the miracles, they are just calling card for the devotees to come. And once they are here, then they are exposed to the higher knowledge, the Vedic chanting, the havans and the satsangs that are going on there by him. It was a calling card. Because they want to see an extraordinary person. How many people go there? 3, 4, 6 million people. How many people come here? How many are there? 20. Why? No miracles. No miracles. If tomorrow, if miracles start happening here, you see, then laptop will not be enough. बाहर लाइन लग जाएगी. Because people want an experience. See? So just like that was calling card, in Satya Sai Baba's case, these stories are the calling card to come to the Lord. And as we come to the Lord, then the stories drop away, the love for the Lord becomes more intense. Then we don't want characters in the stories. We don't want the mother, the father, the brother, the sister, the events. This happened, that happened when he was child, when he was youth, when he was grown up. No, 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 no. We want Krishna only. We don't want anyone else. We want Narayana. Today we want Ganapati Bappa Moria. We want Ganesha. We don't want other stories. They are wonderful to listen, but we have listened to them enough. So when our mind becomes paripakwa, when it becomes mature, when it is continuously thinking of the Lord, and the inner urge is to be one with the Lord, then such a mind will migrate from the leelas, the stories and characters within the story, from those characters to the Lord. It doesn't want to shift its attention from the Lord to other characters. Now, how to remain with the Lord all the time? How to remain with the Lord? Chant the name of the Lord. That is the way. If that is not your disposition at the moment, start chanting. Satsang is going on, stories are going on. It's a collective process, and slowly, slowly you will find that you will move in this direction. And once you start chanting the name of the Lord, naturally, as I told you, whatever you think continuously, you get attached to that. Whatever you commit to, you committed to your wife or your husband, you are committed to your children, so you are working towards that incessantly from 24 hours a day. Now it is all automatic now, everything is in place. Build up the other side now. Enough of this world. Keep building up on the other side the spiritual, the divine, and balance yourself out. It's not only about the world. Thinking about the world, nobody has become happy till today. The richest are more fearful. So all barricades and cameras around the house. Ravana had even caught all the planets and the Kal and everyone tied to his bedpost. And Shani also. But eventually he had to die. So our next stage of evolution after being born a human being is the realm of, I don't want to go into the various lokas, is to recognize that we are the divine, that we are the deathless, we are the unborn, that we are, and who is like that? The Lord Narayana is like that. And He alone is in my heart, He alone is the life within me. Then how can I get to Him? I have to think of whom? Of Him. Start chanting you have to become convinced of this first. Here it is said even more. Even if you are convinced or not convinced, start chanting. Why? Because the scriptures say so, because the Mahatmas say so. Valmiki, before he became Valmiki, he did not know Ram, and he was not used to taking divine name because he was doing the wrong things. So when he started chanting the word Maram, 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 he did not know the meaning of it when he started, because he has never met him, he has never seen him. After thousands and thousands years of chanting that name, Ramchandraji was born. After thousands of years, Ramchandraji was born. And then he became instrumental in writing his Leela, his story. See? This is possible with us also. This is possible with us also. In every human being, this possibility, the possibility of being the divine, is waiting to unfold. Either you do it in this life, otherwise you can say, अगले life में देखेंगे, अभी तो no, in this life. So here he says, they are indeed false and ignoble utterances, and certain contain stories of the unrighteous, of which Lord Vishnu, who is above sense perception, does not form a theme. So stop reading. One must not read too many novels, must not watch too many movies, must not read any excerpts which are not reminding one's mind about the divine. Kirtan is that in which the Lord's name is there. Leela is that in which the Lord's name is there. Otherwise, we want to read the story of Ravana. Here, as a child, we had a comic of Ravana. And some people make Ravana, there is a community of people, for them, Ravana is their god. So they lost the plot. Did we read the story of Ravana to fall in love with him, or to see what happens to an arrogant person? And we should not be like that. That utterance alone, on the other hand, is true. That alone is blessed. That alone is sacred and is the fountainhead of divine excellences. So the name of the Lord alone is true. Name of the Lord alone is blessed. The name of the Lord alone is sacred. And the name of the Lord alone is inclusive of all the qualities of the Lord. Just like I see here Nagaraj, if I say a word Nagaraj, immediately what Nagaraj word stands for me, this particular person, husband of this person, father of these children, living in this particular place, doing this particular job, and all the how I met him, how he met me, how he came to Kailash, etc. If the entire picture comes in front of me, all the good and bad, everything that has been observed, all the qualities are included in that name Nagaraj. Same way, when we take the name Om Namo Narayana, in the word Narayana or Haraye Namaha here, all the qualities of the Lord are inclusive. All the qualities. Nay, that alone is pleasant. Nay, the name of the Lord alone is pleasant, and the name of the Lord alone gives newer and newer delight. Meaning, as you chant the name of the Lord, this you have to experience. I cannot do it and I cannot do it and show it. But once you start chanting the name of the Lord, the bliss keeps sprouting forth as you go, as you move from Vaikhari to Madhyama to Pashyanti to Para. And even in Vaikhari, in the loud chanting, as your mind becomes focused on it and is continuously chanting, new waves of bliss after bliss keep emanating throughout your body. This is only at the body level I am talking about. Then in the bliss in the mind, actually bliss is only in the mind, it's expressing through the body because you are thinking you are the body. But it starts from that way. You start getting horripulations, you start getting uncaused joy. Well, here the joy is because of the name of the Lord. Because less garbage in your head. Lesser the garbage in your head, the more is the bliss. And eventually all this leads to para. Para means silent bliss, conscious bliss. In that conscious bliss, there is no horripulations, there is no waves after waves. You are constantly in that state. But we have to practice. Just like if today someone brought me some kesari peda from some shop because of Ganesh Chaturthi. So I had very nice, very tasty from Shriji company something. Shreeji. Shriji. Very nice. So I had 1 piece, 2 piece, and I was going for the third. Then I realized, अरे शुगर बढ़ जाएगा, छोड़ दिया. हाँ? पर भगवान का नाम लेने से शुगर नहीं बढ़ता. You become sweeter and sweeter. See? कौन बार बार? हाँ. So the name of the Lord is pleasant. The name of the Lord alone gives newer and newer delights, because as purification is taking place, as the impurities are being replaced, are removed, and in its place the Lord is there, Lord's name is there. The example was given in the previous verse. When the sun comes, the darkness moves away. The darkness is the impurities. It is going away. The ignorance from your mind is going away. It's getting washed away in the light of the divine name. Automatically, what you see has a new meaning. What you hear has a new meaning. What is that new meaning? That what you see is divine, what you hear is divine, what you smell is divine, what you taste is divine. You are walking around experiencing divinity in and through as it keeps building up, as you become in tune with the Lord through His name. It's only a matter of time. But the question is, are we chanting it? Are we chanting His name as if there is no tomorrow? See? That alone is a perennial source of great rejoicing to the mind. Mind wants bliss. Mind wants to enjoy. Because there is no other source from where it can get joy, so it desires the world. It is thinking that by latching onto an object, latching onto a relation, latching onto some event, some experience, some memory, some future event that has not yet happened, in the expectation of that, the mind gets excited and thrilled and starts working towards it, or remembers something from the past and keeps reliving it and feeling good. But all these are diseases of the mind. Why? Because these events, these memories, these expectations, these experiences, they are never lasting. They are only temporary. They come for a moment, give you the joy, then go away. They are never able to have a lasting effect. How can that which is finite give you an infinite experience? Not possible. So every memory is finite. It happened and it went away. Every object, Abilene, I have to keep muting you. Every object is finite. It is conditioned by time, space, objectivity. Everything that has come into existence must go out of existence. But we invest all our energies, all our emotions, all our thoughts for that object which is only temporary. How can we get infinite happiness? Impossible. So we have to invest in that which is by nature infinite. And because we cannot think, if here we'll just take it that way, that because we cannot think of Parabrahma Paramatma, which is formless, shapeless, attributeless, so we have given him the name Narayana. He appears in that form at the totality level. He is the cause of all causes. He is the one. What is his name? Haraye Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Just like what is your name? Someone calls you father, someone calls you hubby, someone calls you beta, someone calls you uncle, someone calls you, hey, you stupid. Someone calls you, oh, wise man, please come. So, are you all those? Yes and no. Why? All those names that are being called are being called by other people. You are the man. If you allow yourself to be pumped up by all those names which are good, you are foolish. If you allow yourself to be depressed by those people who are calling you stupid, buddhu, etc., etc., then you are also stupid. Because you are none of this, you are the man. See? So in Bhagwan's case, whatever way you, whoever you love, whichever Lord you have relationship with, that grabs your imagination, you take his name. Because name and the Lord are not separate. The name Nagaraj and the person sitting across 20 kilometers away is not separate from this name. The moment I take the name Nagaraj or Abilene or Shri, immediately the person who represents that name comes in front of my eyes, even if the screen is not there. Same way, the moment I take the name Om Namah Shivaya, the Shiva comes in front of my eyes, with all his qualities, attributes. If I take Om Namo Narayanaya, the Narayana comes in front of my eyes. And who are these? Who is Narayana? Because Srimad Bhagavatam, Narayana, he is the Lord of all the Lord, all gods. He is the one without a second. He is the material cause and the efficient cause of the whole creation. He created the creation with the help of his own Shakti, the Prakriti. Wow! So, how do I get in touch with him? Om Namo Narayanaya, Haraye Namaha, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Take the name, understand the technology of it. And that name Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama or Narayana. That is pleasant, that is sacred, that is the deliverer of bliss, that is all these various adjectives that are added, that it alone gives newer and newer delight, that alone is perennial source of great rejoicing to the mind, because in the end mind wants happiness. If it was seeking happiness from changing objects and people in the world, its happiness is temporary. But when the mind starts thinking of that infinite, permanent, ever existing, eternal, unborn Lord, and is not thinking, and by taking that name, the realization to the mind will come that this whole world is also nothing but that Lord Narayana alone. Then whether it has closed its eyes or it has opened its eyes, everywhere that will be the gopi effect. This is the transformation of the mind. Now it is ever attuned to the infinite. Then naturally all the qualities of the infinite Lord, they are expressing through this. So there is no moment of depression. And because Lord is the master of Prakriti, He is the master of change. He is not affected by the change. Change happens in the Prakriti, in the Maya. But Lord does not change. He is not affected by the change. He is not influenced by the change. He doesn't become happy or sad. He doesn't become joyful or sorrowful. And our situation is conducive events, happy. Unconducive, sad. If I don't get what I want to eat, I'm sad. If I get what I want, happy. If health is good, happy. Health is bad, sad, depressed. This fluctuation happens in Prakriti. But Lord is not affected by it. And when our mind is in tune with the Lord, our mind also will not be affected by these fluctuations in the creation. And that creation includes this body. See? So we are latching on to something which is ever blissful. So naturally, my child is not ever blissful. From child, it was born crying. How can it be ever blissful? See? So nothing in this creation is ever blissful until we do not see it from the eyes of the divine. Then the same world gets transformed for us. See? In the 49th verse, that also we saw, Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam Tadeva shashvan manaso mahotsavam Tadeva shokarnava shoshasha Tadeva shokarnava shoshanam nrunam Yaduttama shloka yasho nugiyate. Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam. This is, we are talking about the name of the Lord, that it alone is pleasant, it gives navam navam, new and new delights. And where are we? Tadeva shwashan manaso mahotsavam. And there is ever a mahotsav in there is always a festival going on in the mind. Of what? Of the name of the Lord. That is the festival. What is the festival? Yesterday was Ganesh Chaturthi, the Lord Ganesha's festival. So from morning, the rangoli was done, then modak was made, some nice dishes were made. Then after this, now Navaratri will come, then Ram Leela will happen, and then Diwali will come. Festival after festival. You're new clothes, interesting foods to eat, lot of light, preparation. So whole day goes in remembrance of the Lord, thinking that today is Ganesh Chaturthi, wishing everyone happy Ganesh Chaturthi, happy Ganesh Chaturthi, happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Everyone is doing it to each other. At least by that way, our mind is repeating happy Ganesh Chaturthi so many times during the day. Nowadays we are typing, we are not saying it. But it is happening. Same way. Is a perennial source of great rejoicing to the mind. Mahotsavam. Mahotsava is the festival. It's a festival of the divine, continuously playing out in the mind. जब लत लग जाती है, I don't know what to say in English. When the mind gets clicked with the name of the Lord, then whether you want or you don't want, it is going on, and you are finding new tunes to chant the name, and you are just for no reason there is so much joy and happiness in your mind. Nothing in this world is a difficulty. Nothing is a challenge. Everything can be conquered. Everything has a solution. Every problems will keep coming, but you will have a solution because your mind is not problem oriented. Your mind is divine oriented. And Lord always has a solution for everything at the right time. So you get that confidence that yeah, ho jayega. Nothing is a big deal. Because you are not caught up in the past nor caught up in the future. All your energy gets leaked into regrets of the past and expectations of the future. But when we are chanting the name of the Lord, we are ever in the present moment. And that's where the bliss is. In the now. And that we are accessing through the name of the Lord. Mahotsavam Tadeva Shokarnava Shoshanam Nrunam. Then he says, through which the glory of Lord Vishnu of sacred renown is constant. What is that? And finally, that is the only means of drying up the ocean of grief of men. How more clearly can the teacher tell here? Suji Maharaj is telling. How more clearly? Upanishads don't talk about taking the name of the Lord, they talk about like Mandukya Upanishad. It says chant Om, contemplate on Om. Bhaj Govindam is there, Ram Gita is there, Bhagavad-Gita is there. All scriptures are only talking about or thinking about by which man can become happier and ultimately be of the nature of happiness. And we are doubting that. Who has the utmost compassion for us? We must not doubt that. So here he is saying that if you chant the name, when the mind chants the name of the Lord, all grief from the mind is removed in toto. But for that we will have to chant the name. We'll have to chant the name. Uttama or Yaduttama shloka yasho nugiyate. Yad uttama shloka. Instead of chanting what? Om सहस्र शीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपाद. अरे उसके बाद क्या आता है? भूमिम 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 विश्वतो वृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठत दशांगुलम. इतना लंबा चौड़ा. People chant 15th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. Some of them nowadays, last year I was seeing there was some competition, how many chapters you can learn by heart. It is good, no doubt, it is good. But when that ego trip is over, come back to the name of the Lord. The best, the easiest, effortless is the name of the Lord. Less complicated. Not many things. If you chant Durga Suktam, Meda Suktam, Narayana Suktam, Rudram, so many words to remember, so many intonations, wrong word, you feel bad, why? And then you have to say, excuse me for all the mistakes that I made. But you cannot make a mistake. Om. You cannot make a mistake in that. You cannot make a mistake. Om Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. You cannot make a mistake in that. Om Namah Shivaya. You cannot make a mistake. So no guilt. The rule is we want to move from many to one, because that many is only the expression of the one alone. But we don't have the eye to see it until we come to a satsang. The many is the father, the brother, the son, the husband, manyness. But who is the one? One is the man. Man. The man alone. Without man, these roles are not possible. The rule is from many to one. One eye, many forms and colors. One ear, many sounds. One nose, many smells. 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action. One mind. We are going from many to one. So 10 organs with which we interact with the world, but one mind. What is mind? Many thoughts. Many thoughts, but one consciousness. One eye. Come to that one eye. Then find out. When you come to that, automatically going to be, which one am I? Who am I? Not which one am I? Who am I? To avoid this will all become self-evident if we chant the name of the Lord. Because in this Who Am I inquiry which Ramana Maharishi has started, the Lord is already established in himself as himself by himself, without any support. That Lord Narayana. And when we remember him, what he is, where he is, how he is, what disposition he is, that will become our disposition, because he alone is sitting in our heart. He is always there. We have not recognized it. So just like the husband in the man was always sitting there, hiding, it needed a woman to come into his life, then the husband came out. The father in the man was waiting. When the child came, the father came out. The employee was waiting. The employer came and the employee came out. See? Similarly, the Lord is also sitting in our heart, but he is hidden behind all our unwanted thoughts, thoughts of ignorance, behind all our desires. Just like you go, you cannot see your own face, but you know you are. So you need, just like you needed a woman in order for the husband to come out, husband is the reflection of the man. Similarly, you go in front of the mirror, you can see yourself. Oh, if the Lord is in my heart, the divine is in my heart, then how will I see him? Huh? The mirror is of your mind. Clear your mirror of the mind and the Lord will reflect. Right now there is too much garbage there of all other thoughts of the world. So all the thoughts are being replaced by the thought of the Lord. All the junk is being removed into the not recycle bin, shift and delete. Now as the screen of your mind becomes clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer, the reflection of the Lord becomes distinctly clear. This is the technology of japa sadhana, of taking the Lord's name. Do it with faith, do it with surrender, do it with regularity. Connect with Him 2-3 times a day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. Slowly it will increase, but 5 minutes also, 4, 5, 7 times during the day. Sit for that 5 minutes, chant His name with full abandon. On the toilet seat, when you go for a walk, when you are taking shower, when nobody is around, scream full throttle. On your own, when you are doing your gardening. देखो, through which the glory, so here he said, Yad Uttama Shloka. Uttama Shloka Yashaha Anugiyate. Anugiyate is sung. Yasha is the glory. Uttama Shloka, the bestest of shloka, bestest of names. Haraye Namaha, Haraye Namaha is sung. By whom? By the mind. Who says this? The wise men say that because they have realized it. They are not saying it to take us for a ride. No. They are telling us because they have experienced it and they want us also to experience that infinite bliss for which there is no comparison in this sansar. Fiftieth, Natad vachaschitrapadam. Oh, Natad vachaschitrapadam harerya तदेव रम्यं रुचिरं तद क्या ट्यून गड़बड़ हो गया संकीर्त्यमानो भगवान् अनन्तः न तद्वचश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो जगत्पवित्रं प्रगृणीत कर्हिचित् तद्वाङ्क्षतीर्थं न तु हंससेवितं यत्राच्युतस्तत्र हि साधवो मलाः. In the 50th verse he says, that speech which though full of figurative expressions never utters the praise of Sri Hari, that are capable of sanctifying the whole world, is the delight of voluptuous men who wallow in the pleasures of sense like crows that feed upon the dirty leavings of food. It is never resorted to by the swan like wise men, for pure-minded saints like take delight only where the immortal Lord Vishnu is sung. Aha. So, in other words, don't be a crow, be a swan. When I went to the ashram, how many years ago? I'm talking about 96. First time I met Ammachi in 90, that's the time, 95 November or December. And that time she used to give a darshan in Mall 1. And I had gone with my sister, and she got tired, she went back. And I was sitting there. And I didn't want to go. And I was in meditation. I used to do that time lot of meditation. I was sitting there. I had people are telling me, please go and take hug, please go and I am sitting in meditation. And then when I went to her, I said, Amma, I am going to the course, I am going to study to the ashram. And that time she told me, she speaks in Malayali, I didn't understand anything. Then someone translate. She says, don't be like a crow. This was the message from her before I went to the ashram. The example here is reminding me of that incident. Saints are swans. Worldly people are crows. Just like crows keep caw, 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 caw. What is that? People gossiping about the third person who is not there. People, instead of being creative in their life, they want by some way make a quick buck. Put money here, will it give me a return? Yeah, oh, well then I will put that in that share. Oh, nowadays cryptocurrency, if I put there, oh my God, it went up to 70,000, I think I should take it out now. Without doing anything, I got $10,000, $20,000. This is being a crow. Whatever is thrown by others, they will take it. No creativity, no ability to discriminate. What is discrimination? Discrimination means the ability to see what is permanent and what is impermanent, what is real and what is unreal, what is changeless and what is changing, what is true and what is untrue, what is dharma, what is adharma. That is how the wise men live. That's why they are called Paramhamsas. The Paramahamsa, the swan, has the ability, if you give him it is said that way, that if you give him water and milk mixed together, he will drink only the milk and leave the water behind. He will drink the nectar and leave the rest of it behind. But the crow, whatever carcass is left, vomit is there, fecal matter is there, anywhere he will put the beak and try to satisfy himself. So don't be like that. What do we do? What is for sale today? Crow. What is the movie going on today? Crow. We are sheep mentality, going after the impermanent, the changing, and wanting satisfaction from it. We will never get satisfaction. Crow is voracious eater. Finds new ways. He is intelligent, but not intelligent enough to be wise, unless he is Kakbhushundi. If you read Tulsi Ramayana, there Kakbhushundi ji is telling the Ramayana to Garudji. Another event. But that also after बहुत थप्पड़ खाए उसके बाद ठीक हुआ वो. Because of the grace. But in general, crow is very intelligent, very smart, but no discrimination. Wise men are simple, not manipulative, not clever like the crow, clear-hearted. But the biggest plus point in them is they are discriminative. They know what to choose in life. Choose the world or choose the Lord. choose the milk or choose the water? So here he says, that speech, our speech, if it is never taking the name of the Lord and it is talking about the world, you know how many cases today? Oh, it becomes every evening it becomes a big event. Oh, Victoria, 450 cases, oh my God. In New South Wales, 1600, oh my God. How many people dead? What did we achieve? Yesterday also we talked the same thing. Tomorrow also if we are going to talk the same thing. What have we achieved? What change has come in us? Only anxiety has increased. We feel more miserable. We are more afraid to go out. So, if the speech has to be utilized, if we have to speak, let the mouth speak, chant the name of the Lord. Not unwanted things about the world. What is the weather like? Today it is hot, tomorrow it is cold. Every day it will be something or the other. Chant the name of the Lord. What to eat, what not to eat. Something will come. Don't worry. Hands will go there and they'll quick ask Bian. 10 minutes she makes the laksa ready. I'm missing it. Soon technology will be there. You can send it holographically here and I should be able to make it into gross and eat it here. So, that speech which is not remembering from that speech which is not used in chanting the name of the Lord is useless. In short. So now in the 54th, for pure-minded saints take delight only where the immortal Lord Vishnu is sung. So let the mind... See, what is speech? What is speech? Speech is nothing but... See, thoughts are in the mind. Speech is on the lips or in the tongue, in the mouth. What is going on in your mind, other people can't hear. But what is going on in your mind when it comes on your tongue, on your mouth, it is called as speech. So, subtle speech is thoughts in the mind, and the grossification of those thoughts is called a speech. See? And if our mind is not chanting the name of the Lord, our mouth is not chanting the name of the Lord. That was the crow, but the saints, they are always thinking about the immortal. They are always thinking about the unchanging, the changeless. They are always thinking about the permanent one, which Ramana Maharishi, he did not put it in that way, but he says, who am I? And he came to that same conclusion. About that unchanging principle, the Upanishads are talking about. And you are that unchanging one. But do you accept? Do you believe? Are you convinced that you are not going to die? Do you accept yourself as the unborn, infinite, undying, eternal consciousness? Do you accept yourself to be that? Or with every news on the TV, you feel afraid. Oh, I hope it doesn't come and catch me. It cannot catch you. You are the spirit. You are the pure consciousness. How do you get to that? Here, take the support of the name of the Lord and recognize that you are the immortal one. When you don't see the difference between you and the Lord because your mind is intoxicated, completely flooded by the theme of the Lord's name, then whatever that name of the Lord represents, all that becomes the theme of the mind. Those qualities, those attributes, they become the expressions of that mind. Lord is fearless, the mind becomes fearless. The Lord is compassionate, mind becomes compassionate. Lord is unborn, this mind also believes he is unborn. The Lord is deathless, the mind also believes in deathlessness. See? So all his qualities become your qualities. But you have to reduce the distance between him and you. Don't keep him in the temple. Bring him onto your tongue. Through the tongue, enter into your mind and then into your heart. And you will find that he is there. He has always been there. And in fact, you are nobody. Only he is. This recognition will come about. And that is immortality. Tyage naike amritatva manashuhu. Going from many to one, forgetting about all other talks, but chanting the name of the Lord. You are holding on to one. You have given up consciously, intelligently, by your choice. You have given up all the chatting about the world. Now you choose to chat only to the Lord by taking his name. Then immortality is possible. So in this choice is always there in front of you, either to think of the world or to thank the name of the Lord. What do you choose? Watch the serial. Watch the news. Talk bad about other people. Gossip about other people. Or chant or recognize, like the wise men, that name of the Lord is the only thing. It's not worth falling into anything else, into any other theme of the world, because it will only create more discord in my mind. I have to protect my mind. If Lord is sitting in my heart, why am I not recognizing it? Okay, let me think. We have to make that conclusion. Crow doesn't discriminate. Whatever comes in front, he takes. If there is a vomit, he will eat that. If there is a fecal matter, he will eat that. If there is a carcass of a dead animal, it will eat that. No discrimination. But the wise man discriminates. That choice, discrimination is choice. Whether we choose the changing or we choose the changeless. We choose the samsar, the world, or we choose the immortal Lord. We choose talking about the world, or we choose to talk only take the name of the Lord. This choice you have. So decide. You want to be a crow or you want to be a swan? Next one. Savag visargo janatagak samplavo yasmin pratishlokamabadhavatyapi namanyanantasya yashonkitani yat shunvanti gayanti grunanti sadhavaha. Ayani tune. What is it? On the other hand, that composition alone, here what is it? Vag visargo janataga samplavo yasmin prati shlokam abadhavatyapi. He says, on the other hand, that composition alone, which though faulty in diction, consists of verses, each of which contains the names of the immortal Lord, bearing the impress of his glory, wipes out the sins of the people. It is such composition that pious men love to hear, sing, and repeat to an audience. So, if you want to read the story of the Lord. Don't read horror stories. Yesterday only someone told me, Swamiji, there is a beautiful movie on Netflix. I said, which one? What? Some horror movie is there, man. And then they saw that movie and went to sleep and couldn't sleep the whole night. And said, oh, very interesting. It was very thrilling. I said, what was so thrilling? You didn't sleep the whole night? No, you must watch. Why would I waste my time seeing that and disturbing my mind and have bad, unwanted dreams? Then instead do what? If you want to tell a story, tell the story of the Lord. If you want to write a story, write the story with the theme of the Lord or keeping the divine. Those people who go around from village to village, the kathakars, the sankirtankars, they are uneducated people. It has come in their family or by God's grace has given them this ability. They have this tanpura in their hand and ting 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 ting, maybe one tabla master on the side, dholak. And they go from temple, village to village, temple to temple, and you can invite them to your houses also. Either they stand or they sit and they chant 3 hours continuously. They are singing the glory of the Lord. He goes into a trance. Some of them go into a trance, some of them have practiced so well that, but they do not tell the story of the world. They tell you the story of the Lord. And that's their profession. They are storytellers, professional storytellers, the kathakars. They're not reading Prem Chand and this Chand and that Chand. Perry Mason, this, that. Nah. Sidney Sheldon. All this thrilling, no doubt. So if we have to tell a story, tell the story of the Lord. You want to write a story, write the story of the divine. So even if, see, when we sometimes chant the suktas, when we take some old texts, somewhere there are grammatical mistakes because old Sanskrit, even in Vedic chanting, some places there are grammatical mistakes. But are we, even if it is made, there are mistakes, we still chant it. Because that is how it has come over the ages. Who are we to correct it? No, because it is grammatically not right, because this story is not, I can't find the head and the tail, and how can this, that, how... I think I will not read these type of books. Then what will you read? You will read horror books, lusty books. No. Why did Ramchandraji make Sita go walk on the fire? Why did Ramchandraji make Sita go to forest? Because one washerman said that I am not Ram. I don't think I will go read Ramayana. I have come across people, why they don't read Ramayana? Because of some events like this. Oh, this is against woman. Their lack of understanding, their lack of a depth into those events. They are only looking at it at the surface level. And that surface level approach, they come to a conclusion. I am not going to read that. I'm not going to read this. I'm not going to go to temples. It's only a stone. I'm not going to do pujas. Why? I'm a Jnani, I'm a Vedanti. I'm not going to do pujas. ऐसे नहीं होता, ऐसे नहीं होता. We must keep ourselves engaged in the theme of the divine by way of festivals, by way of katha, by way of chanting, by way of telling the stories, listening to stories, satsang. If all this is very to take a pen and paper, so many people are told, and they have done it also. Take every day, make a rule, take simple name Ram, and make the, you can get the grid paper from the news agent. Write down nicely, beautifully, you write down Ram and chant loudly. Then write the second one. Then every day make it a rule that you will fill up one page. See the transformation that you will have within few months. Transformation is your mind will be so calm. And slowly, that after some time, either you can keep continuing it, but now you will find that writing has got you into a habit of chanting Ram rest of the day. You can't keep writing whole day. So you write for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes every day, nicely, neatly, beautifully, and rest of the day automatically the Ram is going on in your head. This is the descending. The Lord is descending. He is taking avatar in your heart now. slowly. Continuing, 52nd verse. नैष्कर्म्यमप्यच्युत भाववर्जितं न शोभते ज्ञानमलं निरञ्जनं कुतः पुनः शश्वद भद्रमीश्वरे न ह्यर्पितं कर्म यदप्यनुत्तमम्. That wisdom too which is free from the blemish, in that it is a direct means to the attainment of liberation, does not adorn one's soul so much if it is destitute of devotion to the immortal Lord Sri Hari. What is the point of having knowledge? Oh, one became two, Ishwar and Prakriti. Then Ishwara is always unchanging and Prakriti keeps changing. Prakriti becomes Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Then came the Hiranyagarbha. Then came the Virat Purusha. And in Virat Purusha, the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are expressed. And Brahma is the creator, Shiva is the destroyer, Vishnu is the maintainer. Wow! You can give very good lecture. Oh, I can chant Bhagavad-Gita from beginning till end. Wow! I can chant Rudram. I can chant Purusha Suktam, Narayana Suktam, etc. I know people, in our class there was one person who could chant the entire Ramayana. The entire Ramayana knew by heart. His father also knew, his grandfather also knew. That becomes a source of great accomplishment. But has devotion come in your heart? Or you are only showing off? I know the whole Ramayana, I know the whole Bhagavad-Gita, I know chapter 15, I know chapter 2. I chant Om Namo Narayanaya every day 20 times. 20 malas. After that, I give lectures. After that, pick fights with everyone, is it? What transformation is coming in? Is Lord coming in? Is all this satsang, reading, chanting, is it going on mechanically? Or are we doing it with bhava, with shraddha, with faith, with devotion? See, the culmination of devotion is knowledge. The culmination of devotion, when you take the name of the Lord and be one, and when you vanish in that consummation, He consumes you, He makes you one with you, then all His knowledge is your knowledge. Examples: Anand Mahima, she never went to any ashram to study scriptures. Neem Karoli Baba, he never went to any ashram to study scriptures. Ramana Maharishi, he never went to any ashram to study scriptures. Annamalai Swami, one of his disciples, he did not go to any ashram to study any scriptures. Annamalai Swami's only devotion towards Ramana Maharishi made him realized. Jnaneshwar Maharaj, he never went to any ashram to study scriptures. I can give you, the list is so long. Gora Kumbar, Kanho Patra, Ramakrishna Paramahams, Nigamanandji, Udiya Baba, never went to any ashram to study scriptures. Yet the knowledge expressed out of them. Why? Devotion leads to knowledge. The culmination, the consummation of devotion, when it consumes your ego completely, knowledge dawns. Vice versa is also true. If you are studying Upanishads, if you are studying the Shastras, scriptures, Bhagavad-Gita, etc., etc., if that study of scriptures, that meditation, that yoga, that samadhi abhyas, etc., etc., or this knowledge, it's not percolating as devotion in your heart, as if it is not invoking the love in our heart, then that knowledge was only mere philosophizing. The culmination of knowledge is devotion, love. Love for what? Love for the Lord. Love for the Lord means what? Love for the whole creation as the self. So knowledge leads to the result. The climax of knowledge is devotion, love, and the climax of love and devotion is knowledge. So here he is saying that if knowledge is not leading to love in your heart, today we are so concerned about keeping the car, having a good pure breed dog or pure breed cat or pure breed this or organic food, or house is clean, roads are clean. But are our hearts clean? Are our minds clean? Satya Sai Baba used to say, what's the point of having only infrastructure? You should have intrastructure also. Our mind should be unadulterated. See? So knowledge must not lead to arrogance of knowledge. Knowledge must lead. What do you understand with knowledge? If we have studied all this, oh, I know this, I know this, I know this. No, that should not be the conclusion. When we have studied so many scriptures, Upanishads, Bhagavad-Gita, our conclusion should be how little I know. My God, there is so much to know. This is at the relative level. There is no end to this knowledge. Look at it differently. Atma is the self, divinity is the self or the Lord. N number of ways he can be talked about, his glory can be talked about. There is no end to it. It is not only that how much is written in this Bhagavad Mahapuran, that's it. No, there are 35 more Puranas. We have, in 14 years, we have covered only one. There is Mahabharata, there is Ramayana, there is so many scriptures. There are Upanishads, Vedas. So either you come to this conclusion that what I know is only a drop in the ocean of this infinite knowledge, and the other way is that this infinite who is sitting in my heart, who is throbbing as life in this body, he alone is expressing as the infinite knowledge. Then there will be no arrogance. Then love will flow. Whatever is your extension, a child is your extension. And natural love for that child is there because it's your extension. You have given birth to that child. When you can see that this entire world is the extension of my mind, meaning an imagination of my mind, a thought in my mind, an expression of my mind, just like the dream is, and then go further back. Mind is nothing but the pure consciousness with thoughts. Then naturally you will love the whole thing. Now same thing is told with Narayana and Prakriti, Maya. I keep bringing this point. Narayana and Prakriti. The self and the mind. This should be the parallels. When we recognize the mind as an inseparable part of the self that we are, that day there is no difference between you and Narayana. Either you do it by way of knowledge or you hold on to the Lord's name, and this knowledge will come to you. So here he says in the Naishkarmam apyachyuta bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. So what use is that knowledge in which there is no bhava towards the Lord, there is no expression of the Lord, there is no love for the Lord. Effortless. There is no effortless love towards the Lord. And then he says that how then can action which has not been consecrated by God, no matter if it is of the noblest type, heighten the beauty of the soul, rooted as it is in the sorrow of every stage, both while it is being performed and when it yields fruit. See, what is Naishkarmya? Your first word is Naishkarmya Siddhi, we say. We must follow those actions which are supposed to be done. We should not pursue actions which we like to do, and we should avoid those actions which are prohibited. Naishkarmya is you do those which are supposed to be done without any expectation of a result. Recognize that the doer also is the Lord, the doing is also the Lord, and the done is also the Lord, and the fruit resultant. Because something, if you do, I am talking, some result will be there. What will I'll be exhausted after 2 hours. or what will the result? Conclusion will be the result of this satsang in another 2-3 minutes. So some result will be there. Some new things that I picked up today while speaking, which I had not thought that way, but it expressed, and suddenly, oh wow, I was in wonderment myself. I never thought of it that way. So that was my learning. For you all also, there must be some learning. So Naishkarmya Siddhi is where our disposition is such that whatever is taking place is taking place by the grace of the divine. Before the birth of the wave, the water was. During the wave, the water was. After the wave is gone, the water is. Before the action, the divine is. During the action, divine is. After the action also divine is, and the fruit is also nothing but the blessings of the divine to divine. Brahma arpanam brahmavi brahmagnau brahmanahutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. Everything is that infinite reality alone. Everything is that divine alone. I am not the doer of anything. When I am not the doer, then I am not the speaker, I am not the listener also. See? So when this feeling is not there, that I am not the doer, how will this feeling come? Only by your love towards the Achyuta, the unchanging, the uncorrupted. Who is that? The Lord Narayana. If there is lack of surrender, lack of bhav towards that Lord, then what point of having all this satsang? Is it to increase our ego? Is it to collect information? Is it to prove that, hey, I did my Bhagavad in 14 years, and is it an accomplishment? Is it an accomplishment that I have completed one Puran, now what to start next? I have completed one Upanishad, now I have to do the second one. No, the Upanishad must conclude our ego. The Bhagavad, if we have interacted with it properly, it must dissolve our ego and in its place establish the love for the Lord in our heart once and for all. Just like Arjuna gave the seat of his chariot to the Lord. Lord said, I will not pick up any weapons. I will not fight the war. I will not kill anyone. He says, no, I don't want you to do anything of that. I want you to be my charioteer. Who is our charioteer? Chariot, the seat where the charioteer sits, is the intellect. Intellect is the place where you have choice, like the wise man, the swan, not the crow, the swan. Is the swan sitting on the chariot seat or the crow sitting on the chariot seat? So is the world sitting in our intellect or the Lord is sitting in our intellect? Are we convinced? Intellect is where conviction takes place. Are we convinced in the divinity of the Lord? In the divinity of our being? In the divinity of this world? Do we Have we, has the uh, metamorphosis happened? Because that change can come about only when the individuality melts away and the divinity starts expressing. Then the change in vision will come. When the change in vision comes, the change of experience also is there. But we, in today's world, we want the result first and then we want to put the efforts. I'll put the money if there is 30% return. I'll eat the food only from that restaurant, not anywhere else. Homemade food is not good, restaurant food is good. No. So what is our conviction? Where is our intellect sitting? Who is guiding our life? Is the Lord guiding our life, or is the world, relationships, possessions, money, anger, greed, jealousy? Who is sitting there? With this thought, we'll conclude today and we'll begin from 53rd verse next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.